Oh my goodness, I'm full. How about you? Wow. And so it is. Class dismissed. Let's eat. That was so powerful. Thank you, Jimmy, and the What Else Is Possible band, Choir Angels. You are awesome. Let's give them some more love. Wow. I had the God bumps when they were singing, you know?
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to give you a moment to correct that feedback. I think we're good to go. Okay. Spirit's coming through. Hello, beloveds. Good morning. Bless you. In case you didn't know, I'm an angel. If it's not obvious. Yes, so I've always wanted to be an angel, and this was my wonderful opportunity. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Travis is taking my picture. So, what a fun day. There's a pirate in the room. I don't know who he is. Captain Jack, actually, yes. And then there's Captain Gina over here. What a great day. It's really a great day to be alive, isn't it? Wow, here we are. We have been birthed into existence on the planet at this time in these physical forms, and we are here celebrating life. We are here celebrating love together in this beautiful community called Awakening Ways. What a gift! Yeah. So cool. So we're wrapping up the month of October here, which the seed of awakening for this month has been finances. And today is all about being open, receptive, and awesome. And you'll see why I included that in the title in a bit. But rewinding back to the beginning of October, the first week of October was all about swimming in the ocean of the infinite. And for those of you who were here, we created our abundance name. Remember these log sheets? If you weren't here, I have some more log sheets. You can pick one up for me after the service. And we were called to choose a spirit word and choose an abundance word and then add our name at the end. And then we went around and introduced ourselves as our spirit abundance name. For instance, I was eternal, expansive Elizabeth. And then we had this available to us on our like on our refrigerator or somewhere that we could see it, and we would speak it aloud throughout the week to remember and to really embody the abundance that we already are. Just by nature of being birthed into existence, we are connected to source energy, and we are called to tune into that to realize and remember how truly abundant and blessed we are, yes? And so that was fun. And then it was all about contemplating the infinite, because sometimes we can get distracted by our checking account balance or the balances in our 401ks, especially these days. But we're called to contemplate the infinite and remember that spirit is the source of our supply. Spirit is always the source of our supply, and if we can change our thinking in that little tiny way, shift our consciousness from looking at the EDD as the source of our supply, the job as the source of our supply, the Social Security Administration as the source of our supply. If we can make that tiny shift, then we become open to the infinite, right? Then we begin to build what Ernest Holmes calls a mental equivalent that allows us to receive more, to give more, and to get into that divine flow of abundance. Are you with me? Yeah. Woo! And then on the second week, Susan delivered a wonderful message. And what really struck me about this message and that has stayed with me throughout the month is remembering that in this community right here where we are, there is a consciousness of healing. In this community right where we are, there's a consciousness of wholeness, happiness, and well-being, a consciousness of love and friendship, unity, security, and peace, which we all feel and know and understand because it belongs to each one of us. And everyone. It's not like one person has it and you don't. You may not be experiencing it, but you need to tune into it and you will begin to experience it, right? Like a radio station. And so it was so beautiful to contemplate how this ministry is divinely supported. And I'm so grateful for all of the good that this ministry, Awakening Ways Spiritual Community, brings into my life, and it's doing good in my life and all of your lives. And if our lives are changing and we're beginning to be more of who we came here to be, we change the world. And that's powerful. And so I'm grateful for all of the awakenings here, the transformations and the healings in this community. It's constant. And it is beautiful and powerful. And then the third week, so thank you, Susan. Yeah. Then the third week was all about getting in the flow. And I mentioned that you can't outgive God. And so we were looking at ways that we could get into the flow by giving and receiving in the same way that we are breathing, inhaling and exhaling, right? It's so natural for us to just do that. We don't inhale and not exhale, and we don't exhale and not inhale, right? Because what would happen? It would be bad. Therefore, we should also not just give of ourselves and not just give. We also need to become open and receptive and treat ourselves. And it was about increasing our giving and also increasing our receiving. And so the next week was, are you ready to receive? And so as we give, we're in the flow. You know, it could be giving money. I think I asked to add a little bit extra to the basket that day. And then it was about receiving. Receiving, right? How can we receive? And there are so many offers being given to us constantly. And are we open and receptive to these offers? Now, we don't have to say yes to every offer, but we also don't have to say no to every offer. You know, remember back in the day, I say back in the day because I haven't experienced this in a long time, but when you're at the grocery store and they offer you help out to your car, immediately, no thank you. No thank you. What if you were to say yes? I don't think they've done that since COVID, though. But what if we were to say yes a little bit more? And it could be yes to offers from our loved ones in our own homes, rather than, they approach you and, my latest thing is I'm in love with this thing called Spider Solitaire. Have you played it? It's so fun. Oh my gosh. And it's like, if my husband approaches me, though, I've got to pause that game. I can't just be so focused on my solitaire. That's an offer, an offer of presence that's coming to me. And so we get into our little routines and habits, and I think we forget about these beautiful offers that we're receiving consistently. Now, this is with friends, family, and all of our loved ones, and ourselves. So it was about getting ready to receive and getting into that position, into that receptive posture, and saying yes to your good, because the good is all around us always, if we're looking for it, if we're looking for it. So what are you looking for? Now, I heard a great story this week about a person who was living paycheck to paycheck, and they discovered Science of Mind, which is the teachings of Ernest Holmes. And this person began to pray for more money so that she could stop living paycheck to paycheck. And soon she got a new job with a pretty substantial pay increase. And soon after that, though, she discovered that she was back to living paycheck to paycheck again. Now it was just with bigger numbers. So she became aware that money was not the solution, a change in consciousness was. And so that's what we're doing here each week. We're talking about ways to shift our consciousness, yes? And there are ways to always shift our consciousness from moving from a no to a yes, from moving to not being able to receive to being open to receive. I mean, there are constant practices being provided and calls to action for you at the end of the service to put this into action in your life. Otherwise, it's just all intellectual knowledge. So if we're not doing these things and we're not seeing the transformations in our lives, then I don't know. It's like, what are we doing here? So get in the flow. It's all about getting in the flow, you know? Stop focusing on the circumstances and conditions in our lives, like a lack or a limitation, why we can't do things, why we shouldn't do things, and so forth, and start focusing on that infinite potentiality and unlimited possibility of the infinite ocean of good that we are swimming in right now. Right now. We're already immersed in it right here, right now. This is it. We're here. It's happening, you know? It's awesome. So sometimes it's as simple as finding the good in a situation, appreciating the beauty, or making a gratitude list. When you find yourself veering off to negativity or negative self-talk or whatever it is, just that shift. Catch yourself in the moment and make that shift. So 2 awesome things happened to me this week, and I want to share these with you. So I went to an appointment, and the young lady at the front desk started sharing with me that her wallet was stolen from her car, and they were having this party and behind their house, and she went out to her car in the morning, and she thought, oh, this is weird. Didn't I lock my car? And she went in, and it turns out that her wallet was stolen out of her car, and she was so upset, and she was going on and on about how upset she was. And I was feeling compassionate, you know, for her. I empathized and was just, that's terrible, you know. But the last sentence she shared with me struck me as a wonderful opportunity. She said, the wallet was a gift, and now it's gone forever. And in me, something rose up, right? Now, what would you have said to her in that moment? What would you have said to her? Oh, yeah. So I did say that I was sorry, but she said that wallet was a gift and now it was gone forever. And I said, unless it's not, anything is possible. Do you want that wallet back? She said, yes. I said, well, then be open to miracles. So I talked to her Saturday, and the wallet was found, and all of the money was still in it. Yay! Right? So it occurred to me, wow, are we sharing the knowledge of our inherent good and life's inherent good with everyone? Like, we have all of this knowledge and all of these spiritual tools that we have in our toolbox that not everybody has access to. And so that's a tiny shift in thinking, right? Whether she got the wallet back or not would have been a change into being open and a movement away from that constriction of upset that, oh, now it's gone forever. That's so constricting, isn't it? Anything is possible. So if we're not sharing all of this knowledge and the tools that we know of with everyone we come in contact with, can we start today? Or yeah, let's do it, right? Yeah. Oh man, I love what the Sufi poet Hafez wrote. He said, be the one that changes everyone's luck when you walk into the room. Right, I just got the God bumps. Be that person that can affect change. It's so simple. And we have it, right? We have it. Let's share that with others. So another thing that was fun that happened this week was I met a friend for tea in SLO, and she's a student in my mental equivalence class. Visiting from down south. If you're watching, yeah, I'm talking about you. Not going to say their name. So she was visiting for a few days, and I was very fortunate to get to meet up with her for some tea downtown. And I don't know if you know this, if you ever get down to SLO, they have a whole new parking system where you have to, like, what I do is take a picture of my license plate, because I don't have it memorized, go to the parking station, type in your number and then put in your card and you pay for your parking. You add time. And so we both had cars. I was meeting her after work and she was driving. And so she was paying for her parking. And I started hobbling over because I was wearing my boot, right? And just then a man came around the corner and said, "You're awesome!" And it stopped me, and I went, "I'm awesome." That's right. I'm awesome. And it felt so good. And then he said it again, "You're awesome." And I just thought, whoa, that is so like saying namaste. Like the awesome in me recognizes the awesome in you. You're awesome. And he was so happy, and it was like he meant it. He really meant it. And, oh, gosh, I'm awesome, and so is he. And then he said it again, "You're awesome." And this joy, you guys, bubbled up from my toes, and I was giggling and walking over, in recognition of my own awesomeness, and I was smiling, and I said, "Thank you. Thank you. You're awesome, too." And I had this flashback to Vasista's cave in India. And there was a moment, I believe I've shared this with you all before, but there was a moment in that cave where a yogi came up to me and we're in silence. And he grabbed my hands together and he said, "You are God in form. You are God in form." And I remember the same feeling in that moment. This joyful, giddy bliss bubbled up from my toes. And there was this recognition that was like, yeah, that's right. I am God in form. You are awesome. And so all of this is coming together. And then the man said, "Your boot is awesome." Happy healing. You'll be out of that really soon. And then he looked at my friend and said, "You're awesome. Hey, your dog is awesome." And I just had so much joy in me from this man. And I thought, this is a holy man. This is a holy man. This is like Jesus himself walking the streets of Slow, reminding people that they are awesome, right? Wow. And it turned out this man was an unsheltered man, which made him even more holy. This man is unsheltered, but spreading the joyful good to people. If you guys go to Slow, you may run into him. But wow, even in the experience that he's having, he is spreading this good. He is sharing this truth with others. And that experience is going to stay with me probably forever. You are awesome. Wow. Do we accept our own awesomeness? We are so quick to judge and criticize ourselves, aren't we? But what if we were to get up in the morning, look in the mirror, and say to ourselves, "You are awesome." What would that be like? Yep, that's a homework assignment for this week. I need to adjust my halo. Because I'm awesome. I'm awesome. Yeah. All right, friends, now you know what's next. Turn to the person next to you and say, "You're awesome." Now I would like you to stand up and share it with as many people as you can. You're awesome. You're awesome, Zoomers. You're awesome. You're awesome. That's awesome. Awesome Zoomers. Awesome music. You're awesome. You are awesome. You're awesome, Jimmy. Awesome. You're awesome. Awesome. You're awesome, Brian. You're awesome, Joy. You're awesome, and you're awesome, and you're awesome, and you're awesome. All right. Wow. Thank you. awesome. What if we could approach everyone this week with that sense? Like, you don't necessarily have to say, you're awesome. You can, but what if you just had that feeling? Like you saw someone and you thought, wow, that person is awesome. That takes away everything. No past, no future, no resentments, nothing that needs to be forgiven, nothing to atone for, just pure awesome. Right? That's holy. That's holy. And that is very sacred. And that is what we are called to live from this week. And so coming back to that Sufi poet Hafez, be the one that changes everyone's luck when you walk in the room. Be that person. So friends, everything we want for ourselves and our lives is available to us now through the use of spiritual laws and principles that we teach here. But we've got to use them. We've got to use them. It's not enough to know about them. We have to collapse these principles into our lives by way of our thoughts. Buddhism calls it right thought, and then use that in the world. Now, by changing our thinking, we're actually building a new mental equivalent for ourselves. And the mental equivalent is really the governing thought patterns that define how we perceive and move through the world. If we are moving through the world with a quarrelsome disposition, we have a mental equivalent of strife, and we will be unhappy wherever we go. Hey, awesome dude, why don't you come in here? I wonder if he heard that. You're awesome. So we have a mental equivalence class going on right now, and we have a very small book, which is awesome. But I want to read to you from this book, page 7 to 8 in the Mental Equivalent by Emmett Fox. The secret of successful living is to build the mental equivalent that you want and to rid yourself of the mental equivalent that you do not want. That's pretty easy, right? He says, I have friends in London who have rheumatism all the time. In fact, it was once called the National British Disease. Some people have it beginning in October and lasting until March. Others only have it until Christmas. Others don't even get it before Christmas, but then they have it until February. Of two men living in the same town, doing the same work, eating the same food, drinking the same water, why does one have rheumatism from October to February and the other not have it at all or at a different time? Why? Because they have furnished the mental equivalent for what they get. And then about the quarrelsome person. The quarrelsome person is always in trouble because he becomes dissatisfied in New York. So then he goes to Chicago. He thinks, oh, I'll like it in Chicago, but pretty soon he has enemies in Chicago, so he goes to Kansas City. He has heard there are nice people there. But soon he is in trouble again. Why? He has what we call a quarrelsome disposition. He has the mental equivalent of strife. There is another person, and wherever he goes, there is peace. If he visits a quarrelsome family, there is peace while he is there. He has the mental equivalent of peace and divine love. You see? It's a shift, a subtle shift. Be the one that changes everyone's luck when you walk into the room. Now, we have our book of the month. Do we have any more of these?
Yes, we do.
Oh, we do? Okay. For sale. And in the book of the month, this book is called It's Not Your Money by Tasha Silver, and it's awesome. And so there are, week 2, she has the divine steps. So the divine steps are the Change Me prayer. There's 5 of them. The Change Me prayer. The second step is to start to clean your house. The third is stop complaining about money. And the fourth is make a gratitude list every day. And the fifth is to say these words out loud and often. It's easy, for me to receive. Yeah. And so that, among so many other awesome tools in this book, will help us to transform our lives. I've been reading through it. This is actually my second time. She's got just such great ideas. I highly recommend this book. There's some information about creating a God box. I don't know if you've heard of that, but just so much good. And so, friends, we want to be open to possibility. Oftentimes we think we want a specific thing or experience, and then we realize that it was the feeling that that specific thing or experience would bring that we really wanted, and not actually that experience or thing at all. Can anyone relate to that? Answered prayer is usually the next prayer request. It's just how it works. We're always growing and learning, right? But if we are looking for that specific thing, we can become rigid and closed off to possibility. We actually can't see the forest for the tree. That means we can't see the vast, infinite forest beyond this tree that's right in front of us. We go all over, right, looking for the specific thing. Blue, I want the blue, blah, 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 whatever, right? The blue, blah, blah, blah. Well, this other awesome thing showed up, and now I'm looking for the blue one, That's not it. And so we go all over looking for it. We can't find it. We can't find that one thing, and then we get upset. Well, why isn't my prayer being answered? This stuff doesn't work. Or my visioning is not working. I'm not doing it right. What am I doing wrong? But the invitation is to consider that what if it's being delivered to you in a different package that is even more suitable for you and the deepest desire of your heart? Because it probably is. But we've got to be open. We've got to be open to that possibility. And so I know you've heard this story, but there's that story about a terrible storm that came into town, and local officials sent out an emergency warning. Hey, the riverbanks are soon to overflow, and the nearby homes are in danger, and they ordered everyone in the town to evacuate immediately. A faithful man heard the warning and decided to stay, saying to himself, I trust God, and if I am in danger, then God will send a divine miracle to save me. The neighbors came by his house and said, hey, we're leaving. There's room for you in our car. Please come with us. But the man declined, I have faith that God will save me. And then the man stood on his porch watching the water rise up the steps, and a man in a canoe paddled by and called to him, hurry, get into my canoe. The waters are rising quickly. But the man said, no thanks, God will save me. The floodwaters rose higher, pouring water into his living room, and the man had to retreat up to the second floor. A police motorboat came by and saw him at the window. Hey, we'll come up and rescue you, they shouted, but the man refused, waved him off, and said, use your time to save someone else. I have faith in God. God will save me. The floodwaters rose higher and higher, and the man had to climb to his rooftop. A helicopter spotted him and dropped a rope ladder. A rescue officer came down the rope ladder and pleaded with the man, grab my hand and I will pull you up. But the man refused, folding his arms tightly. No, thank you. God will save me. The man was now pleading with God and said, I put all of my faith in you, God. Why didn't you come and save me? And God said, I sent you a warning, I sent you a car, I sent you a motorboat, I sent you a canoe, I sent you a helicopter. What more were you looking for? Yeah, that deserves a plus. I got the God bumps because what are we looking for, right? Yeah. Pay attention. Your prayers are being answered consistently. Our prayers are always being answered, even before we even know and can articulate the prayer requests. There's so much good coming into our lives, but are we receptive? Let's get receptive. We're back in the flow. It's official. So, in conclusion, friends, remember that we are swimming in the ocean of the infinite. that Awakening Way spiritual community is transforming lives. We are awakening humanity to the inspired mind, the loving heart, and the sacred soul present in every life. Get in the flow and give. Be receptive. Get ready to receive and expect miracles. We're called to start sharing the knowledge of our inherent good and life's inherent good with everyone. To share what we have been learning here. To share it with the world. It's life-changing. We are light workers and the world needs our light. This is what we're up to. And remember, you are awesome. When you look in the mirror, say it out loud. You are awesome. And to move through the week looking at everyone and everything as awesome, including your finances. And be open to that possibility and know that in order for things to be different, we have to do things differently. Our prayers are being answered constantly. Are you paying attention or are you looking for something else? And I'll invite the musicians to come on up and prepare for our closing song now. All right. And so let's take a deep breath together. Let's do that again. And join me in turning your attention inward and returning to this beautiful, expansive space within. This is the space where I know and remember with every fiber of my being that spirit is all that there is. It is all that there ever was, and it is all that there ever will be. And I'm so grateful to know that it is in me right now, just as it is in each individual here and everyone watching and everywhere. There is nowhere that spirit is not. And it's in us, not like jelly is in a donut or gas is in a car. It's in us like we are made in the image and likeness of it. Just like when we look at our hands or look at our facial features, we see aspects of our birth parents, and it's in the same way when we look at ourselves and each other, we are seeing that we are all God in form. And so this week, starting right now, we have a greater awareness of this than ever before. And we move through our day remembering, I am awesome, and so is everyone. And as we shift our consciousness in that tiny but magnificent way, we open ourselves up to the good that is available. We open ourselves up to the divine glory and all of the miracles that are waiting to be revealed in our lives. Oh, life is so good. And I am so over feeling any kind of negativity or strife in my life. We are all done with that. We're done with that. And so now we are spiraling upward into the magnificent goodness that God wants to experience as each one of us. I'm receptive to that. I am open to that. And I know that each one of us also is. And we remember that we will be the person that transforms the room by walking into it with our consciousness. My consciousness and your consciousness makes a difference. You matter. And God is so good. I am so grateful for all of these gifts and so much more. I'm grateful for the love that is in my life, for the relationship that I have with the God of my understanding, and for everyone here and everyone who is on their way who hasn't met us yet, because I know they are awesome too. So thank you, Spirit, for this great, magnificent day. Oh, what a blessing and a gift this life is. I release this prayer with great gratitude now, knowing it is so, and I take my hands off of it and allow it to be, and so it is. So it is. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I am the preacher shouting out the news. I am the juke joint stomper playing the blues. I am the holy roller giving Jesus my cares. I am the candy man, I'm pushing my wares. Well, I am the cowboy, branding my steers. I am the Cherokee brave on the trail of tears. I am the master with whip in my hand. I am the slave from a distant land. After all is said and done, with my maker I am one. And after all is said and done, with my maker I am one.
I am an Okie on the dusty road. I am a banker with the tailor-made clothes. I am a hobo in a cold boxcar. I am a railroad baron smoking a big cigar. I am a ghetto brother about to lose his lease. And I'm the landlord about to cut off the heat. I am a warden looking out the yard. And I'm the prisoner there playing cards. But after all is said and done, with my maker I am one. And after all is said and done, with my maker I am one.
I'm the doctor, I'm saving the sick. I am a junkie, I'm craving a fix. I'm a homeless child on the streets so mean. I am a movie star on the silver screen. I'm a champion on the finish line. I am a beggar holding up a sign. I'm a rookie trying to make the Hall of Fame. And I am a gangster and I'm fixing this game.
And after all is said and done, with my maker I am one. And after all is said and done, with my maker I am